Okay, today is November 30th, 2011. We're going to go over our Chapter 5 review. You need to know all of these formulas we have on the right here. So there's our SOHCAHTOA formulas, sine law, Pythagorean's theorem, and cosine law. You're going to need to know those for your test on Friday. Question number 3. It says that a triangular garden has two equal sides. So let's get our triangle going. We have a triangular garden. And we have two equal sides. So these are going to be our two equal sides. Each of them is 3.6 meters long. Okay? It also says that the contained angle is 80. What they mean by the contained angle is that's the angle between the two equal sides. Okay? So we know this is 80. Now I know, well, for most of you it's just setting up this question. But I'm going to ask you something. Can I find the degrees of the other two angles? How would I find them? Yes, both of those angles will be equal. Exactly. So we know a triangle adds up to 180. We have a contained angle of 80, so I can subtract by 80 and I get 100. Now I need to split 100 degrees between my two angles. So I divide 100 by 2, and we know that our two other angles are 50 degrees each. So we have 50 degrees and 50 degrees. Okay, so now we have our three angles. I need to find, I'm going to name this my side X. Okay? I can use several of the laws. I could use cosine law, or I could use sine law because I know these other angles. Personally, in my opinion, sine law is an easier formula to work with. So we're going to work with our sine law instead. Extend that page. Good. So we're going to use our sine law. We'll bring it over. Yeah. I'm going to name this triangle. Now, for sine law, the letters aren't as important. So we're going to call this our A, and side X will be side A. Remember, it's very important to know how to name this. This will be my B, side B, and our C, side C. So using all the information I have, we're going to plug it into our sine law. Sine, angle A is 80 degrees. Side A is X. Sine B is 50 degrees over 3.6. And what is sine C over C going to be? Exact same ratio as our B, because the angle is going to be the same and the length will be the same. So I already have my ratio. There's no need to draw in the C. We can drop that off. I have three pieces of information, two angles and a side. So now I can solve for my X. Now, this is where I talk to you about cross multiplication. The reason I want you guys to get familiar with that is because the easiest way to go about solving this here will be to cross multiply these two fractions. That way we'll get rid of all of our fractions. So I'm going to do 3.6 times sine 80. So we have 3.6 multiplied by sine 80 is equal to X times sine 50. Okay. Now that we've done that, we've got to remember what our goal is. Our goal is to isolate X. So, yeah, I want to move sine 50 to the other side, which means I have to divide each side by sine 50. Okay? So, now that we have this, I'm going to multiply 3.6. Sorry, we're going to find sine 80 first and multiply by 3.6. So we're going to get 10.63 rounded to 6 divided by sine 50 is equal to our X. Okay? And finally, our X, we take that number, we're going to divide it by, in brackets, sine 50. and we're going to get 13.88. Now, does the question tell us to round it all? To the nearest meter for the garden. So they want us to round this to the nearest meter, so we're going to say that x is approximately 14 meters. Oh, you didn't? All right, let me just double check. Sorry, guys, I made a mistake up here. This is not 10.63. Sine 80 times 3.6 is 3.54. My fault. I must have pushed 36 or something. 3.545. Okay. Make sure you're in degrees too if any of you guys aren't getting that. We take that number and we divide it by sine 50. 4.62. 4.62. And again, because it says round to the nearest meter in the question, 5 meters.
So in the guide book says 12. It says like 12.
Meters?
What the hell?
All right, so gentlemen, the question's not done. Okay, this is why the answer in the back is different. X we just discovered was roughly 5 meters. They want us to find the perimeter of the object. So because it's perimeter, S plus S plus S, we add up our three sides, which are 3.6 plus 3.6 plus 5. We get 12.2, which if rounded to the nearest meter is 12 meters. Okay? Okay, question 3B. How much area does the garden cover around your answer to the nearest tenth of a square meter? Okay, in order to find the area of a triangle, we actually have to know the height of this triangle, which we don't know right now. Okay, so we do know area is equal to the 1/2 multiplied by the base times the height of the triangle. Yeah, or base times height divided by 2 is fine. This is our base right here, our 5, but we don't know our height. If you noticed, when I drew our height down, I actually split this triangle in half, and I've created 2 right-angled triangles here. Okay? Now, because I split the top angle in half, each of these angles will be 40. Okay? And what we'll be solving for is we could just take one of the right angles. We'll be solving for this height. So I'm going to redraw this here. Oh, it's not going to work very well with that. Give me a second. Let's do this. So essentially we're working with this triangle. So because the base, we're only working with half of it, we'll be working with half of 5. So 5 divided by 2 is 2.5 meters. Our angle is still 50. We still have a 3.6 on this side and 40 degrees here.